my career could be in jeopardy. All over the media that Sridevi was expecting when Bonnie decided to get married to her. The baby's father, is rated as one of the biggest superstars in the country. So Kaveri, that there was no official autopsy report. Was she forced into drugs?
Hello, guys. Welcome to Frontline and Chai. Today, I have with me my guest Diganta Guha. Well,
I
before I have not had not introduced Diganta, say hi to the viewers.
Hello viewers, how are you? And Kaveri, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for joining us, Diganta. Diganta is here with an explosive news, and let me introduce why Diganta is here. He has been a Bollywood journalist for the past 15 years, and he's still continuing. And Amitabh Bachchan calls him. So you can imagine what
Used
his
to
clout
used to
is.
call me. Okay,
Okay,
used to call me.
whatever.
Okay.
So his
Okay.
clout is there. Okay, he deals with those kind of that kind of a crowd. So we're going to hear today. It's a very sad thing to talk about, but we need to know, right? So people need to know what happened to Sridevi. So today,
Right.
Digonto, what do you think happened to Sridevi? You've been covering Bollywood so well for such a long time. You've been closest to this situation which happened in Bollywood. So what happened to
That's right.
Sridevi?
See, first of all, let me tell you that showbiz is shrouded in mystery. Anything that happens in showbiz, if it's an unfortunate demise, several interpretations crop up. Before I get into the nitty gritty of what exactly happened to Sridevi, or what could have happened to Sridevi, I recall an afternoon that was 8 9 years ago. I was working with an English newspaper back in Kolkata, and I was in the features department. And my features editor all of a sudden called me over. She told me that, Diganto, I have got a scoop. So I asked him what. She said, Bonnie Kapoor, I mean Sridevi's husband, he's gone bankrupt. So you need to do a story on that. I was a bit, I would say, confused because when we were discussing that story, and when my editor actually broached that subject, Bonnie was having a good time. In fact, he had hits in No Entry and Wanted. So it was a bit incredulous to me to start off. But then a job is a job. So I started, tapping my sources. I started talking to a lot of people, wanted to sort of, get to the truth. Uh, Honestly speaking, I have always been against doing stories on the basis of sources, like sources close to, because Kaveri, you would also endorse that in most cases they are not authentic enough. So your
Yeah.
credibility is questioned, and you can't afford to do that. Uh, but if I may say so, the general perception that I developed, after gathering so much of information, if I reveal even 5% of that, it's going to be earth shattering.
Please
But
do, please do. People
no,
want
no,
to know. The
I
nation wants
want
to
to,
know.
I want to, but I'll explain. While I get into the details of a death, I'll definitely explain with anecdotes. So that would be much clearer. Well, what some of my sources told me was that obviously Bonnie Kapoor and Sridevi were at odds. And in terms of monetary status, Bonnie was having a very tough time, though some of his films did well. And Sridevi, reportedly was under a lot of pressure. They were not on talking terms at times, and she was not a very happy wife, because you all know that when Sridevi got married to Bonnie Kapoor, there were questions raised. In fact, I don't know whether it's true or not. I would refuse to believe so, but there were also, stories all over the media that Sridevi was expecting when Bonnie decided to get married to her, and
Hmm.
the
We heard
baby
that.
the baby's father, uh, is rated as one of the biggest superstars in the country. So I guess you got what I am trying to imply. but I'm not going to be specific because without proof, I can't afford to do that, or else I'll be in my career could be in jeopardy. But I mean, like it's silence at times is stronger than words.
That's
I'm not being,
interesting. Diganta, at least
yeah.
give us some hints. Who is
I
that
have given you. He's
superstars?
one of the big. He's one of the biggest superstars. He's
You
still
mean to
rated
say,
quite highly as an actor.
what's her
No,
name?
I know you are. You're not. You are not going to. You're not going to get names because on
Okay,
this
but
front, I would better not do that.
but the baby's name is what's
Janvi.
Janvi.
Janvi. She was expecting
Okay,
Janvi, and there were huge, I mean, speculations that she was actually carrying somebody else's
Elsa's
baby or
child,
whatever.
a
Right, child,
superstar
right,
style,
whatever.
who's very
A
young
big
even now, right? Even now he's very young.
he is no he no longer looks young, but he pretends to be
Pretends to be
25.
very young. Yeah.
And whenever you talk, when jag utta hai insan, you feel really
Oh,
terrific. Okay,
okay.
come on. Okay, fine. Okay, so those were the stories, but there's no proof. Okay,
Okay.
fine. So that's about it. So the general notion that I developed was that alls were not hunky dory between the two of
Hmm.
them. Now, coming to Sridevi's death,
Yeah.
do you know, Kaviridi, that there was no official autopsy report?
Yeah.
There was no official investigation done. Now, how
Yeah.
did Sridevi die? Okay, how did Sridevi? Reportedly, Sridevi died due to drowning.
And yeah.
Where did she get drowned? Where did she get drowned? In a
And
sea,
the spelling
in an
was also
ocean,
wrong.
in a swimming pool.
No.
Okay,
In a bathtub.
she
Like
in a
even
bathtub.
yeah, and I
Oh,
am
come
5 foot.
on.
Even I cannot get inside
Come on.
a
So
bathtub fully.
I absolutely. So I refuse to buy that. A. B.
Nobody refused. Nobody can buy that.
Okay. Some eyewitnesses claim that she was heavily drugged. Now, my $1 million question is: was she forced into drugs, or did she voluntarily take to drugs? This is my question.
Okay.
My my now the scoop that you probably are not aware of, and many people would be sort of oblivious to. Do you really know that Sridevi had an insurance worth rupees 240 crore that was
Yeah.
made in Oman?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
And
Maybe.
the condition that was attached to the inheritance of that amount would be her death in Dubai, and she died in Dubai.
Yeah. Why
So
would they make a condition like that? It's
I have
very
no, I know,
weird,
and
right?
in fact, I'll tell you something. I have this right in front of me. A filmmaker called Sunil Singh. He,
Hmm.
in fact, entered a plea in the Supreme Court, and he demanded a thorough probe into her death. So obviously, you are well within your position to smell a rat and read between the lines. Now, Kaveri, to generalize, let me tell you. I'll again come back to the Bonnie Kapoor part and the Sridevi's death part. There have been several such instances in the past. How did Divya Bharati die?
Yeah.
How did Parveen Wali
Sushant
die?
Singh Rajputra died.
Yeah. How did this girl, Jia Khan, die?
Jia Khan died.
Now this guy, Aditya Pancholi, I mean, sorry, Aditya Pancholi's son,
Hmm.
what's his name? Surat
Suraj
Pancholi.
Pancholi.
Okay, fine. He's been acquitted. Fine. He's been
Yeah.
acquitted, and now he's going all over the town trying to draw sympathy. See, this is what has been done to me. I have been victimized. Fair enough. Again, the law will take its own course. But darling, in the tinsel town, nothing can be taken for granted. Do you know, Kaveri Di, if you ever visit Mumbai, oh, you must have visited Mumbai. If you visit this station, main station, I think it's the Churchgate station or whatever,
Mhm.
there are hundreds of guys and girls who land up Mumbai with dreams in their eyes. And honestly speaking, if you do a very meticulous survey, you'll find that 80% of them end up somewhere else or they commit
Yeah.
suicide. In Bollywood, and with the kind of films that are being made nowadays, with so much of emphasis on women, Sridevi would have been the ideal choice.
Yeah.
And especially, in this age of OTT, I mean, some strong subjects would have been actually conceived of keeping Sridevi in mind.
Yeah.
And there is no denying the fact that she was one of the finest actresses we ever had. But it was not only an untimely death; it was a horrifying death. But will the truth ever come out?
But
That is my question.
tell
Right.
me, Diganto, who benefited
Mm.
from this? We know that Bonnie Kapoor benefited with the 240 crore rupees
No, I don't
insurance.
know. I don't know. I know. See,
Obviously,
we
the
can't
next
treat it.
of kin is Bonnie Kapoor.
Maybe. See, I'll tell you something. It's not fair enough to actually point fingers because we could be in trouble that way. But my question is very simple. How did these insurance claims, how did these angles crop up? This is my question. There is no denying the fact that her death was not normal. Come on, Kaberdi, how can somebody get drowned in a bathtub? I have been into
Nobody buys
bathtubs,
that. That's very
nobody
silly.
buys
That's
that.
nobody
Okay,
buys
fine.
that.
Okay, fine. So she was in Dubai to attend a marriage, and some, eyewitnesses also say. I mean, some people whom I spoke to, who were part of that party, they actually said that no, she was not even under the influence of alcohol. Why did
She
she
was
die? In
dancing
fact,
very well. We saw
she
that
was
video. We
dancing.
all of us saw that video.
Right. And there are so many stories, which have sort of come up around her death. So it's very, difficult to make out, or it's very difficult to close in on the truth. Apparently, one of the stories says that Bonnie Kapoor and Sridevi were in the same room. I mean, obviously, they were in that room, the husband and wife, and Bonnie was sort of prodding her to rush because he was feeling hungry, and Sridevi went to the washroom, and then there was no response. So was Bonnie present when Sridevi died? Not inside the washroom, obviously, maybe in the room. But then I have also heard stories that Bonnie had left after the party, and when once the news of the death was, unraveled before him, he had to rush back to Dubai. So it's all a question of authentic reportage, which is actually missing. But as I said, obviously there are reasons enough to read between the lines. There are reasons enough to be suspicious, and you can't hold me responsible if I am, trying to be too inquisitive.
Died in a bathtub. She was like almost 5'6" or 5'8" in height. She couldn't have drowned in a bathtub in her senses when she's in her senses unless somebody pushed her down. Okay, so why don't the investigators go poured into this thing? Who is
No,
are
who's
they
go?
above the law? I don't
No, no one
understand.
is above. No one is above the law. But
So why
Kaveri,
don't the
honestly speaking,
investigators go into
the
this
death was
angle?
the death was not investigated properly by Dubai police. And
Yeah,
honestly speaking,
why don't
I'll tell
Indian
you what.
police go to Dubai and investigate because she
No,
is
no,
an Indian
I mean
citizen?
it's done and dusted, Kaveri. That's the unfortunate part. It's done and dusted. I mean,
That is not an answer because all
but this is
cases
but this
very
this is
heavy
quite a common
case.
factor. This is a very common phenomenon in Bollywood, in the film industry. I mean, there are so many instances. Praveen
Yeah,
Bobby's death, I said. I mean,
yeah.
Sushant Rajput's death, it's been dragging, and dragging. You incarcerate somebody like Riya Chakraborty, she's in jail for like months and then she's out on bail and she says, I'm going to start a new career. Fine. Okay. So the thing is, if you look at the larger picture, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not trying to point my fingers. I'm not trying to castigate Bonnie Kapoor and it all and all that. No, I don't want to do that because there's no proof. But at the end of the day, Bonnie is smiling, Janvi is smiling, we are all smiling. But this poor lady is gone.
And she had a huge career in front of her. I'm just
Absolutely.
thinking, career-wise, who would have been benefited? Career-wise, was there any second person who could replace Sridevi? There
No,
wasn't.
no. See, the question of career, doesn't really come into play out here. I think if you ask me, I would say that obviously, there was something fishy. There is something fishy, but you can never get to the truth. That is what I'm trying to say, and this is very unfortunate in showbiz because there are plenty of other instances. Sridevi was a huge star, so obviously, she was all over the news. She was all over the media. Everyone was talking about her. But there's so many, like. Untimely and unfortunate
Yeah,
deaths
but
of innocent
why?
girls and boys.
How can they go scot free? That's my question. How can this
Who can
continue
go
to
scot
happen
free?
in Bollywood, and
Who
how
can
can
go?
people go scot free? That's what
Do
my
you mean to
question.
say? Do you mean to say that from within you are totally convinced of the fact that Suraj Pancholi is innocent?
Nobody's convinced. No, I'm not
Nobody's
convinced.
convinced.
Nobody's
Okay, fine.
convinced. You
Let me.
have opened all the like even Sushant Singh Rajput's case. There was an open all the evidences were clear. In spite of that, CBI kind of went on into oblivion. They do not know what is happening.
Can I give you another scoop?
Yeah, tell me. Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Again, you have to guess. When a huge publishing house, a huge media house was launched in Mumbai, the first story, the page one story they did, and you must be guessing what I'm trying to get to. The page one story was on a leaked taped conversation between two of the biggest actors in Bollywood. And the man, he was kind of using the filthiest of languages. He was
Yeah,
not hesitating. He was not hesitating to hurl, what should I say, expletives at the woman. I mean, forgetting the fact that he was talking to a woman, his ex-girlfriend. Fine. The story was all over, and it was done by Joydeep Day. We are so excited. Oh my God, this is what has happened. How could this happen? Oh my God. I mean, fine. You know what happened later? And this was told to me by the editor, by a very senior editor. That actor, when this conversation, this when tape went to Nagpur probably for authentic check, he bought the examiners, and I think he spent around 3 to 4 crore. And this is actually true, but again, there's no proof. He bought the technical people, who are actually
technical people, so that
trying
they,
to sort of
yeah,
gauge the authenticity of the conversation. Like, it was all true. I mean, see, a journalist of the stature of the late Joydeep Day, he unfortunately was killed in broad daylight, I guess. I mean, he wouldn't have, taken that sort of a risk to come out with a conversation, leaked conversation or taped conversation.
you
That's
can
what
say
I'm
who's
saying.
the actor, right? You can say that.
Salman and Aishwarya. Salman and Aishwarya.
Okay.
It was, and
So,
that was the
for,
page one story on the first day of. It was the first edition. That was the
yeah,
main story. Okay, tell me.
yeah, yeah.
We
Now I
all know that
remember vaguely.
Bonnie Kapoor's son, Arjun Kapoor, from his first wife, and Malaika Khan. I mean, they are a couple, and they are probably the most talked about couple at this point of time. But when their love blossomed, and when Salman got to hear about it, he was extremely furious, and he in fact spoke to Bonnie Kapoor and told him, I won't say asked him, told him to see reason in his son. And then Arjun obviously backed out because he also couldn't afford to antagonize Salman Khan. And Arjun was reportedly dating Salman's then sister-in-law, Malaika, who happened to be wife of his brother Arbaz Khan. So Salman was not a very happy man, and we all know that Salman is very committed to his family. I mean, being an elder brother, he did the right thing, so I don't find any fault in Salman. So that I would say Arjun and Malaika's relationship created a distance between Bonnie Kapoor and Salman. And Salman actually, there were reports that Salman backed out from some of his ventures. He also refused to, help Bonnie financially. Incidentally, Kaveri, when Bonnie Kapoor was, what should I say, accosted on Sridevi's death, and a DGP, I'm sorry, called Rishi Raj Singh, had gone on record saying that, Sridevi was probably murdered. So he was extremely peeved and he was extremely upset. In fact, he retorted saying that Sridevi was not murdered and it's just a figment of one's imagination, to quote him. So obviously, Bonnie has denied such allegations, and that was a foregone conclusion. Obviously, he would be denied. But
All the everything points to him. Everything
that's
points
quite
at
natural.
him.
That's quite natural. If at all Bonnie was involved, if at all Bonnie was involved, again, I would say that there's no proof as such. And even if there was any evidence, it has all been brushed under the carpet. It's all been very hush hush. So even if Bonnie was kind of arrested and all that, I can assure you he would come out scot free because of his quote unquote connections, and
Yeah,
connections matter.
Correct.
See,
So,
Kaveri, a person, I am one of the biggest Salman Khan fans you can ever think of. I'm crazy about his acting.
hmm,
But let me come to it. A person who doesn't bother to kick the butt in front of a pregnant woman in the Gulf
yeah.
during a press conference. I mean, I really wonder whether he's worthy enough to be called an icon.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's not get into that part. Okay, because this thing will go on, Kaveri. We can sort of make thousands of videos and all that. But the day both of us are able to bring about a change in their mindset, and also we need to instill a lot of courage in media personalities as well. I absolutely agree with you. The truth should come out. In fact, you must have watched my video on Amitabh Bachchan that was
Yeah,
done with
I
my
did. I
sister
did.
Ankita,
Yeah.
and I mince no words. So far as Sridevi's death is concerned, I really hope and pray that the truth comes out. But unfortunately, the truth will never come out. It's so easy to sort of burn papers. It's so easy to write pages after pages. You can keep on doing that, but at the end of the day, as I said, if our efforts come a cropper, I mean, there's no point banging our head, because see, you are a great Sridevi fan. I'm
I am.
an ardent Sridevi fan. I
Hugely.
loved her. She's no more, and it's very unfortunate, and obviously she's missed. Actual reason behind the Divava's death was never unveiled. How did Parveen Babi die? That's also a mystery. And I can assure you a plethora of such instances will come up in the days to come. And the guilty, I would say, I wouldn't say the accused, will just move around scot free.
Yeah, that's what my thing is. So, wrapping this video up, I should remind the lawmakers once more, like I said in the other videos, that with power comes great responsibility. So, Indian people in India, like there's too much corruption, too much money. Like people are just throwing away money to buy law. So, and law is bought left, right, and center. It's still happening. It's still happening. So the day that law stops getting bought and nobody is above the law, I think India will really make it. But as a superpower, because of these things, that India is still lagging behind. Dear lawmakers, let me tell you one thing. What about your conscience? You have sold your soul. Why do people bribe you? Because you're taking the bribe.
I have no hesitation in saying that we are actually shameless creatures. And look at the way our so-called, senior politicians or politicians who are venerated. And I don't mind taking names like Mamata Banerjee, Nitish Kumar, and others. Trying to politicize this, monumental tragedy in what happened in Orissa. I mean,
Yeah.
close to 300 people died. There's no point being preachy, because all our words will fall on deaf ears. So
Yeah, I hope
it's
not. I
getting
hope
murkier.
not. The more we share these videos, the more, guys, keep sharing, because sharing is caring. And the more you share, the more you will be able to make a mark. Believe me, you do make a
Absolutely,
mark. Everybody
absolutely,
makes a mark. So it's
absolutely.
not that you don't make a mark. We are dropping small drops of water in the ocean to get it cleaned up. So it's getting like cleaned up. So you have to do your part and share. Guys, please share this video so that more and more people become aware. And these lawmakers, they should realize their power comes with a great responsibility. They should be able to take the charge and get this thing out. Who killed Sridevi? Get it out in the open and punish the perpetrators. Thank you, Diganta, so much for being with me
You're
today.
most welcome.
It was a
You're most
great
welcome.
pleasure. I just hope you guys have got your whatever
I
you
hope
wanted
I've
to know.
been I hope I've been able to live up to expectations, because I mean, before the precursor to the video, you were so excited and you had lots of queries, and I
Expectations.
really hope that I haven't let you down.
Yes, I'm sure you haven't let anybody down, and I'm
Thank
sure
you so
people are
much.
going to share this video as much as possible so that we can make a mark. Bye bye, guys.
Right.
Take care.